EAGLES. Eagles.
Welcome in, everybody, to a Football Friday edition of Birds 365 here on JAKIB Sports. I'm your host, Zander Krause. That's my co-host, John McMullen, back here on a Football Friday with everybody, coming off the heels of a Dallas Cowboy loss. I'm sure Eagle Nation's fired up about that. Johnny Mac, how you doing this Friday morning, brother?
Yeah, big day for the Philadelphia Eagles. I joke every time they don't play, something good happens, which I think is a testament to the rest of the league more than anything else. But yeah, all of a sudden it looked, well, if Dallas wins, and Dallas didn't win. The defense showed up like it's played for most of the season, which just didn't show up. And the Detroit Lions kind of scored whenever they wanted to, despite being without their injured players. So, yeah, I think he can rest easy. It's not officially.
So the Birds will need what? 3 wins and it's done, right? 3 wins.
Yeah, magic number 3. Any combination of 3 wins by the Eagles and Cowboy losses. So, yeah, both ends of that spectrum, it's 3. So, but yeah, if they win 3, yeah, it's over from that standpoint. But
so 3
doesn't
wins.
even have to be 3 wins.
Yeah. Do you have 3 wins in the next 5?
Oh yeah, come on. I mean, like I said, you're going to see, and I don't know who's going to show up for Washington or Las Vegas, and you never know in this league because they might show up on a particular game day and play well. It's usually about playing well early for teams that are out of it, and if they play well early, they have a little bit of juice. But if they don't play well early, oh, they're checking out early. That's generally what happens in this league. So, you got to show up. You always got to show up, and you got to play. But I've never felt in danger. Like evidently, there are some people who think they're going to lose every game. I mean, I think that's ludicrous. I just don't see that. And that's probably scars from 2023. But yeah, I've never saw that. I don't see it. Even with the Jalen Carter news, Cowboys had to win that game, and they didn't win it.
Nope, they did not win it. Defense showed up. I thought the offense was okay. I mean, they settled for a lot of field goals in the game.
Yeah, by the way, counterintuitive, but it's a waste in the modern game to have Brandon Aubrey kick anything but over a 50-yard field goal. In other words, if you're 4th and short, I don't need that guy. Yeah, he's going to make a 35-yard field goal, 37-yard field goal. He's unbelievable, that guy. He makes 63-yarders, which was the record for decades. Look like a
chip shot.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. But yeah, again, the way the modern game is played, you got to go for it, man. You can't just, we got a good kicker.
Yeah, well,
especially when you're getting boat raced on the other side.
Detroit scored it well. I mean, look, the game plan for Detroit seemed to me simple last night. Attack the linebackers and attack Shavon Redmond.
Ooh, poor Kenneth Murray trying to deal with
destroyed in that game.
Jamar Gibson. I don't think there's anybody that can deal with Gibbs in the open field. So, but he looked really bad. I don't know. Like I said, I've been saying for a while, he's the toughest skill position matchup in the NFL for everybody. But some guys are capable of making it more difficult. Like I always use the good NBA scorer. Some guys the great ones are going to score 30, but if you make it hard on them, it helps your team. Kenneth Murray was not making it hard in the passing game at all.
No, he was not.
But that's a tough match. That's a tough matchup for everybody. It really is.
Yeah, I think he had 3 touchdowns. Here's Dirty Day. December, Dak is back. All the Eagles fans will be out chirping at Mark Holmes.
If you come out of that game and Dak Prescott is why you think they lost, come on.
I don't see that either, John. But the Eagles fans, they like to chirp at Dak. It is what it is. So good stuff there. Cowboys lose. Magic number down to 3, everybody. If we can go 3-2, just get in, just handle your business, win 3 games, and then anything can
Don't
happen.
even have to win 3. I emphasize that. Combination of 3, that you think that Cowboys team is going to run the table? That inconsistent bunch?
Yeah, they probably won't, honestly. No, they probably won't. I mean, they only had their toughest game left is the Chargers. And the Eagles got the Chargers on Monday.
Huh. So, I mean, but they also have the Commanders. So if everybody's worried about the Commanders,
and they got Jaden back.
Why aren't you worried about them for the Cowboys? They have to play them. I forget their other games, but they're not winning 4 straight. They're just not consistent enough because their defense is terrible.
Yeah.
Boy, and
their offense moves the ball, and I think that's the concern with the Commanders for the Eagles versus the Cowboys. I mean, the Eagles offense struggles against everybody.
They got to figure things out. But, also I was thinking about it when I was watching and a big part of that game was St. Brown playing because I didn't think he was going to play. And all of a sudden he plays and he looks fine, by the way. Because they've really struggled when they were down 2, Laporta and St. Brown. They just didn't look good at all. But at one point, and this is I always talk about how quick the NFL moves. At one point, Trayvon Diggs was an all-pro cornerback. At one point, Deron Bland set the NFL record for pick sixes in one season and was, in the Defensive Player of the Year conversation. They stink. They stink. I'm telling you, the assumption that these guys are always the same and that, he was an all-pro and he did this and he did. They stink. They can't play. Moves very, very quickly.
It really does. It's a very interesting perspective by you. John, appreciate it. Good stuff there. Plenty of stuff to talk about here today in Eagle Land. We got an opened up show. We'll take some super chats from the great people of JAKIB Nation, and we will look hard at this Eagles-Chargers matchup, Monday Night Football. All right. If the Eagles lose that game, John, I think the Cowboy fans will be back like, we can do it. We can do it. So the Eagles got to handle their business on Monday.
They're at, I forget the number, but they're way, it's like 5-6%. If you look at I
think it was 9. They showed it last
night. 9? I know it's under 10. They are in deep, what? They are not making the playoffs. Is it possible? Yeah. 9% is possible, but the odds are not good. That was a huge game for both of those teams. If Detroit had lost, they would have been down under 20% potential to make the playoffs. So it was sort of a pseudo playoff game for those 2 particular teams, and Cowboys lost it, and they are not getting back in this thing. The hole they dug was just too big.
No doubt. Johnny Mac, good stuff, man. Let's get into that. First off, let's hit the big news on Eagle Land here today on Birds 365. Yesterday, Jalen Carter ruled out for Monday. He had procedures done on both of his shoulders. We had Dr. Chow on the National Football Show in the afternoon yesterday. Added great context to the procedures like this, and obviously it was more speculation because he didn't have the full information. But he hears double shoulders and he's like, oh, that's small. You're not going to work on, you're not doing anything major to both shoulders at once. That's just not how it works. So get good information there from Dr. Chow. I urge everybody to go and listen to that interview. It's posted up on the JAKIB Sports channel. But your thoughts on the Jalen Carter news, John? He will be out on Monday.
Yeah, he will be out. My biggest concern is, and I know Dr. Chow speculated that it was PRP therapy, which is platelet-rich plasma injections, which some athletes swear by. I know Kobe Bryant used to do it all the time, and at that point you had to go to like Germany or somewhere to get it. And it's still not approved by the FDA here in this country. So it's really more of an experimental therapy. Is this going to fix anything? You know, I don't know. I question. That's my concern. It's like, and probably the rest will help him more than anything, to be honest. You know, taking some time off, because I don't think he's going to be back soon. And by that I mean, just miss one game. I think it's going to be a couple games. And they may even shut him down for the regular season if things keep going well. If they win and they don't need to win, they might just shut him down to give him that rest, and maybe that helps a little bit. But this is not good news. It explains a lot what he's been playing through, because he hasn't played well at times, and he's just too gifted to not play well. So, and now some of the pieces fall into place. I mean, he missed the end of OTAs. He missed the beginning of training camp. He missed, didn't miss, but was dealing with the shoulder early in the season, was on the injury report with the shoulder. At the time, we thought it was one shoulder. And then you go back to last year in the Super Bowl year. We only talk about with running backs. He played 1,060 snaps in their run to the Super Bowl, the most of any interior defensive lineman. And this year, he's, even while injured, he's fifth or sixth. He plays a lot at a position where you're banging and banging and banging inside. And that's not a good position to be in when your shoulders are not feeling well.
Yeah. Okay.
So my concern is far more long term than this, and this is at best a quick fix to get through the season, and then we'll see if he needs actual surgery. Not good. Not good news.
No, for sure. These Georgia guys and these shoulders, man. I don't know what's going on with that Georgia water with the shoulders. John, how much of this do you think is agent driven in terms of, not playing well? And, because this to me feels like something he could have done a while ago. I mean, the shoulders are something that's been bothering him for a little bit here.
Oh, well,
why wait to now? But whatever.
It's funny you bring that up, because I was talking about it. Drew Rosenhaus showed up at training camp when Jalen Carter, that's his agent, but when Jalen Carter was out early in camp, which is rare, and he was, made himself very visible. And I don't think he was happy with the usage rate last year. And that number of snaps they had to play. Look, this is part of the business of football that everybody doesn't think exists or doesn't want to talk about. Like, this guy's a cash cow for Drew Rosenhaus. And
yeah, Drew's calling the Eagles like, yo, dude, why is he playing 1,100 snaps in a year?
Yeah. And not only the cash cow for Drew, he's a cash cow for Jalen Carter. I mean, he's set to make a lot of money. The only way he's not going to make a lot of money is if he's beaten up and beaten down and everybody recognizes it. And like I said, played a lot of snaps last year, and now you see like what's going on, and the same thing is happening this year. So yeah, that's a part of it. There's no doubt that's a part of it, because again, he's sixth this year. I'll look it up right now. I know he's top 10. I believe he's fifth or sixth. Then just the pure number of snaps.
Really?
Remember,
missed 2 games.
Yeah, he missed.
He missed the Giants game and the Cowboy game. Obviously, he was ejected from.
Yes, and to your point, and
he's still top 6 in snap count.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now. I'll tell you.
Whew, man.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th. Cameron Hayward 603. Zach Allen 600. Dexter Lawrence 599. Who I don't know why he's in interior defenders, but I'm thinking Dexter Lawrence. I'm thinking DeMarcus Lawrence.
Yeah,
sorry,
gotcha.
Dexter. Jonathan Allen, 594. Leonard Williams, 593. Jalen Carter, 582, minus 2 games.
Minus
So
2 games.
he's probably going to play at minimum, because I'm assuming they're not going to be out there for 87 snaps, but he's probably a minimum 150-50. Get him up to 682. He'd be far and away number one again. So, yeah, from Drew's perspective, they're beating the you-know-what out of him.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah, so he's and obviously his body's breaking down right in front of us. And again, to the point of players staying the same and projecting players, and because I admit I wasn't thinking about it. He's young. That's the thought. But this is not. This is a rotational position for a reason. Because those guys take a boatload of punishment.
Yeah.
And they wear down if they have to play that many snaps. And you're seeing it in real time with Jalen Carter.
Yeah, Drew might have to make a call to the offense as well. Can you guys move the fucking ball so we can get Jalen Carter off the field, please? Thank you.
Well, ironically, he got, I don't want to say it was a benching, but it was trying to wake up, sorry. But it was sort of, he wasn't playing well early in the Bears game. And I think they removed him for a little bit because he wasn't playing well. And they put Byron Young in there, who wasn't playing well either. So it didn't matter. But at the end of the day, he still ended up over 60 snaps. Now they played 87. So, I mean, that's far too many, to your point about the defense being out there. But, yeah, and when he does come back, I wouldn't be surprised if, it's more structured as far as giving him a breather here and there. But hey, at least it's not because Jalen. You have all these people that because of what went on in college and is he's not trying. No, he's working hard.
Well, I mean, he did show up out of shape. Is that because of the shoulders, or did that contribute to the shoulders? I mean, that's my question.
Well, I don't know how being out of shape is going to contribute to shoulder pain that already existed while you were in shape playing 1,000 snaps. So I would indicate more that it had an impact on him staying in shape.
Right. I agree with you. That makes more sense to me.
Yeah. So all the reasons why he wasn't in the best of shape, why he's not playing as well, I think have been answered by this development.
How big of an impact for Monday night, John? Eagles Chargers in that game. Obviously losing a player of this caliber is a big deal. How big of a deal for Monday night, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, he's their most talented defensive player. But like I said, if you're losing the guy in Chicago, playing against Chicago, it's not that big of a deal. But if you're projecting what he's normally giving you, it's a very big deal. So it depends how you look at it. Like, he's not healthy, so it's not a positive for you to just throw him out there because of his name. Because again, nobody's playing on reputation when they're out there. So it depends how you look at it. But from the larger standpoint, a healthy Jalen Carter versus no Jalen Carter is a huge difference for this defense. And, it makes things tougher. Just as we talked about the inverse before they got Jalen Phillips. Now everybody's bumped up and they're in a more difficult position. Who's getting double teamed now? Probably Moro Ojomo. Certainly on passing downs.
Right.
You think he's going to be the same, getting those double teams and not being?
Yeah, no way.
So, yeah, it has a huge impact on the defense. That's your best player.
That run defense is concerning too. I mean, the Chargers ran for $190, I think, last week, John. And I think they're getting Omarion Hampton back as well. And look at
Yeah,
the report on that.
and I think that'll be fixed a little bit just from the standpoint, that'll be a big adjustment for the Eagles coming off last week. If they, 281 is, I wouldn't even be surprised if you see a 6-man front if you have to. That's what Vic has done in the past when he's concerned about run support. So I think he'll make adjustments, and it won't be not saying it'll be great, but it won't be disastrous.
Yeah. Do you think Herbert will play? Herbert and Hampton were both limited yesterday in practice, so I don't know if they'll play or not. I'm assuming Herbert's going to play. Hampton, I'm not sure. I'm assuming both of them are going to play. John, do you have any information on those guys?
Just that all indications are Herbert is going to play. I don't know how effective he's going to be. Certainly going to be limited as far as I don't think you're going to see him under center at all. It's probably going to be a bunch of pistol and gun because of his hand, and how does it affect his ability to hand the football off and play action, all that stuff. So you have to see how effective he is. But the other part, Hampton, I have no idea. They might, because the other kid's been playing well too. So I don't think there's an urgency to get him back out there. And if he's, that's more of a ramp up thing. They think he's ready, he'll play. If they don't, Vidal's playing arguably better than he was. So I think they're comfortable either way there, and it'll just be if they feel he's ready to go.
No doubt. Johnny Mac, good stuff. So Carter out for Monday. So you got no Carter, you got no Lane Johnson, and you got Sidney Brown in the game. I don't know.
Well, maybe not. It might be Marcus Epps.
Might be Marcus Epps. You think so?
Vic left that door open.
He did leave it open
clearly. Just got to see if he's ready. I think it will be Marcus Epps if they deem he doesn't need, similar to what I just said about Hampton, if he doesn't need a ramp up period because he's been out for 4 or 5 weeks or whatever. But yeah, he was pretty clear. In fact, kind of hinted that probably will be him. And just a veteran guy, more of a veteran guy. More, I think with Sidney, it's been the issues we've talked about. It's more about he's not where he's supposed to be too much, and that's not acceptable in a Vic Fangio world. And Marcus will calm that down and line up correctly and being where he's supposed to be.
Right, that makes sense. Yeah, Sidney Brown's not the best. He got tortured kind of versus the Bears. John, what else happened yesterday at the NovaCare complex? You were down there all damn day. You got the Jalen Carter news in the middle of it. You heard from Jalen Hurts. You heard from some of the other guys in the locker room. What else did you make of the day at the NovaCare complex yesterday, John, that is relevant to the game on Monday?
Yeah, well, number one, first of all, the Jalen Carter news broke after the Nick Sirianni press conference. So I'm like, come on. I mean, the head coach should be talking about these things. And then what happens? Well, the players got to talk about it. So, if the Eagles are listening, I mean, come on. What the hell? And now we won't talk to Nick until tomorrow. And Vic spoke Tuesday, and this happened Monday. Now, it's not Vic's place to do it. It's the head coach's place to do it. So I get it a little bit from Vic's standpoint, but, and then again, then you're putting the players. So Byron Young's got to talk about it. And who else spoke yesterday? Jordan Davis didn't. Morrow had to talk about it. Morrow talked about it. Backward anyway, but that's just you're not doing a service to your players by doing it that way, so it's backward.
No doubt. John, Jalen Hurts spoke yesterday. A lot of people, Eagle fans, love hearing from Jalen. Some called it his best press conference ever.
Really?
I don't know what these.
What did I miss? because I was there. Why?
What did
Why
you
was
make of what Jalen Hurts had to say yesterday?
I thought it was a typical Jalen Hurts press conference. Not good, not bad, not he's been a little bit better this year, a little bit more open, I think. He got it, but also there was a bunch of TB questions in there. Maybe that's why.
Your phone is blowing up over there, brother.
That's not my phone. That's my wife's iPad, but it is blowing up. I apologize. I can't get to it. But is you had the Jordan Mailata, Walter Payton Man of the Year conversation. You had another question about his cleats. I mean, is this what people want?
No.
I don't know. Why is this a great press conference? I'll ask.
I don't know. People, I don't know. Okafor says what Jalen said went over y'all heads. That's what Okafor.
Oh, okay. Went over our heads, or it went right in the wheelhouse of the sycophants. How about that?
That's exactly right. Here's Okafor. He says Jalen Hurts called out Patullo's play calling. I guess we're not going to talk about it.
Oh, by all means, I got the transcript in front of me. Point that out to me when he did that. Love to talk about it. I was the one who asked him the question on the sequencing, and he said, and that was probably his best answer of the press conference, which he admitted we've got ways to improve. If that's calling out KP, all right. Obviously, they have ways to improve.
Yeah, Okafor's telling you about your own question. Okafor, sit down and shut up. Come on, buddy. All right,
yeah. Anyway. Yeah, thanks, Okafor. Thanks.
Yeah, look, he talked about play sequencing. I know that was John's question. All right, good stuff there. Not a whole lot from Jalen Hurts yesterday, despite what people think, or the Jalen sycophants, as you call them, thought of it. John, what do you think of this game on Monday, man? You got no Carter, you got no Lane, you got an interesting team. I mean, this Chargers team they don't really strike a lot of fear in me at all, but they do have a good defense, and they play a lot of zone coverage, which has been a struggle for Jalen Hurts and the Eagles offense this year. And the other interesting part about, the Eagles offense, I read yesterday on Philly Voice from, I think it was Jimmy Kemsky on Philly Voice. The Bears brought the house on Jalen Hurts, and Jalen, earlier this year he had
a bad game against the Blitz.
He's been really good against the Blitz, and he had a rare game where he wasn't great against the Blitz, and I wonder if that type of thing will pick up. But they are a zone-based team, and they're a very good defense, John, this year.
Yeah, typically everything's been turned on its head. Typically they struggled against the Blitz coming into this season. Then they were great against the Blitz. Then they had a bad game. Not every game, obviously, is going to go the same way. And typically they've been good against zone. Then they've been bad against zone this year. So you never know what you're going to get. That's part of the problem with the Eagles. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's bad. It's never been great. It's probably been bad more than it's been good. And you wheel that, you throw that wheel around, and a lot of clinging to the mini buy, which, what is it? Their fourth mini buy this season, in this goopy season. Again, it's more time for the coaches, not more time for the players.
Well, it's still more time for the body to rest a little bit, right? I mean,
well, the resting, yeah, that's a big part of it. Jordan Mailata talked about that yesterday. And Jordan was probably, as he always is, probably the most valuable speaker on the team. But, he was asked about execution and finishing and getting better and taking the extra time because, again, I'm convinced 99% of the people, even the people who cover the team, don't understand that they don't practice more. They have time off. And he said, I'll be honest, I took a mental break. I took a physical break, too. My body's breaking down on me. Not a good sign. Week 13, we all know what the problem is. So for us, it didn't take much studying to come up with the answer that we need to finish. We need to give nice effort, blah, blah, blah. But
wait, who said their body's breaking down?
Jordan Mailata. Everybody's body is breaking down.
Yeah,
It's week 14.
That's the NFL. That's right.
And that's what these little breaks are for when it comes to the players. And that's collectively bargained. Again, I've been talking. It's not like the Eagles could say, all right, we lost. You guys got to come in and we got to practice more. They're not allowed to do that. I don't know how many times I can say that. It is no longer allowed. It used to be allowed years and years ago. But no, it's extra. The coaches, there's no time limit. And Nick was talking about this yesterday. There's no time limit on the coaches. They could work late. It's why, family issues and alcoholism are prevalent in that world, and have been for a long time, probably because they do work too much. And then you have the other end, like Steve Spurrier's like, it's 5 o'clock. I'm going to go golfing. Which you could say is better for your mental health or whatever, but a lot of ways you can look at it from that standpoint. But the players are pretty honest. It's on them to play better. But I know that's not the answer anybody wants.
Yeah, it's true. John, yesterday I forgot to mention this to you. Jalen Phillips was limited yesterday. Zach Baum was also limited. Carter's obviously already been ruled out. What's the deal with Jalen Phillips, John? He had a concussion apparently from the Week 13 game versus the Bears.
Yeah, good question, because he spoke to us yesterday, like before we knew he had a concussion. So that might be a situation where he got evaluated for a concussion, got cleared. Like who'd that happen with 2 weeks ago? Adoree. Adoree Jackson. So anytime you leave a game and they say he's being evaluated for a head injury, that means evaluated for a concussion. And then Adoree Jackson didn't return, and you say, well, he was ruled out with a concussion. Well, he wasn't. They were just being precautious. So he never entered the concussion protocol. But because he left the game and it was checked for a concussion, you have to put him on the injury report as concussion. If you leave him out, if he went back in the game, you wouldn't have had to put him on the injury report. I think that's what happened with Jalen Phillips. Because he spoke to us, and you're not allowed to speak to us if you're in the protocol.
So he must have cleared it, and then now they're just listing him as limited because of it. At least that's what it seems like, yeah.
So, but he spoke to us, so I would not be concerned at all. Bigger, larger picture from the over legislation in the NFL. I would not. I would not be worried at all that he's not going to play, because he's going to play.
Yeah, no doubt about it. John, one other piece of news I want to talk to you about here before we get into the game. We're going to break that game down as well. Slay did not want to report to Buffalo. Did you see that, John?
Yeah.
He's like, man, I'm too old to go to Buffalo, bro. I knew that when I saw that he was claimed. I'm like, I don't know. I'll believe that when I see it, when Darius Slay's in a Buffalo Bills jersey. It looks like he's not going to report. I don't know if that means anything for the Eagles, but I did think it was interesting.
Well, speaking of Big Drew Rosenhaus Day, he's Slay's agent as well. I mean, look, if the Bills want to play hardball, he's not going anywhere. He's the Bills' property, and he can say he's thinking about retirement, and he, at some point they'll place him on the reserve retired list. And if he wants to come back at some point, he'll still be the Bills' property. Whether that's in the playoffs or how long he wants to take it, still the Bills' property. So the only way you can get him to Philadelphia at this point is for Buffalo to release him. And as a Super Bowl contender themselves, even though I don't know how realistic that is, but they perceive themselves as that because of Josh Allen. And they play the Eagles as well. They might not want to just give them to the Eagles. However, Drew Rosenhaus might be the most powerful agent in the NFL. There's a lot of backdoor dealings. There can be, hey, if You give me this favor for my clients, I'll do this for a different guy because he's got a lot of clients. A lot of backdoor dealing, but the only way it could happen is if Buffalo releases him. And oh, by the way, at this time of year, because it's past the trade, then he'd have to go through waivers again. And somebody else might say, like, say you're the Los Angeles Rams, and Slay doesn't want to play for you, but you just want to keep him away from the Eagles. That's a bad example because the Rams are ahead of the Eagles. But so any team ahead of the Eagles could still claim him on waivers again and keep him away from Philadelphia. Now, I don't know if he's that meaningful a player at this stage. He's going to be 35 on New Year's Day, and he hasn't played well for the Steelers, but he did play well for the Eagles last year. But there's a bunch of hurdles that they would have to go through. He can't just say I'm retiring and then wake up and say, "Hey, I'm going to Philadelphia." It doesn't work that way. So a lot of hurdles, but I can't say with Drew, he might work something out, backdoor. And Slay was talking on Ancho's podcast, and he asked him, he said, maybe it's one of those situations where his oldest son is 18 and, he went back home and he's playing football and he's always been a big family guy. And, maybe he likes it now. Maybe he doesn't want to come back. Bunch of stuff. But if you're forcing me, I do believe if the Eagles were awarded him, he would have come here. That part, no question.
Yeah, and they did put in the claim. They did put in the claim, which is worth noting. So good stuff there. Slay, I don't know. Maybe he retires. Maybe he doesn't. We'll see what he ends up doing here on the year. Johnny Mac, let's get into this game, brother, real quick. I got some matchups in mind that I want to run by you. But for you, what comes to mind when you think Eagles Chargers? Anything jump out at you about this Chargers team or about the matchups, the game within the game for the Eagles on Monday night?
Well, I just want to see, what everybody wants to see. Well, two things now because of the defense and Carter. You want to see what Vic does, whether it's, rolling out 6-man fronts, whatever, to try to stop the run game at least more effectively. And then offensively, we're all in the same boat. We want to see what the Eagles do offensively. And I think it's more internal than looking at the opponent. Can you line up? Can you eliminate the pre-snap penalties? Can you eliminate the negative plays? To me, it's more internal because I don't think these big schematic changes are coming that people want. That's off-season stuff.
Yes, and you've been very consistent on that, John, and you're obviously very right on it. Even Sheil Kapadia yesterday was on the radio station, and he's like, if I'm Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Rosen, I'm sitting Jalen Hurts down in the offseason, and we are discussing, how to push the ball more into and do things, even if he doesn't like it. He's got to do it more to get this offense to the next. It was actually a great piece by a great conversation that Sheil had, but. He was consistent with you as well. That's off-season conversation. They're not changing a whole lot right now.
No, you can't. There's no time. There's no ability to do it. So you got to clean up the negative stuff. And if you clean up the negative stuff, things are going to look a hell of a lot better. If 3rd and 8 turns into 3rd and 3, the Eagles are very difficult to stop. Even as poorly as they've been playing. But because it's a lot of the reasons they're playing so poorly offensively because they're always 3rd and long. 3rd and long becomes 3rd and short. You start cooking with gas, and half of the time it's self-inflicted wounds, I would say. And if they can clean that stuff up, I think that's been the whole focus. Easier said than done, but that's the whole focus.
No doubt about it. John, good stuff there. Let's get into some of the matchups I have on my mind here. Both my first two matchups, John, are Eagles defensive line related, and it actually doesn't have a whole lot to do with Carter missing, but he obviously changes the conversation. I'm looking at those edge rushers, John, for the Eagles versus the Chargers tackles. They got two backup tackles. I mean, they have two really good tackles, Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt, and both of them are out right now. Mekhi Becton hasn't worked out well for them. Trevor Penning, who they traded for, hasn't worked out well for them. They're really struggling on the offensive line, John, and I think it's an opportunity for those edge rushers to really try and put their stamp on this game. What do you think? What do you think about that matchup over there with the Eagles edge rushers going into this game versus the Chargers?
Well, the Chargers have the worst tackles in the NFL, which is interesting, as you pointed out. If they're healthy, they have arguably the best pair of tackles, or certainly in the conversation with the Eagles and a few other teams. Certainly top 3, top 4 with Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater. Slater's missed the entire season. Alt is now out. They've used 1, 2, 3, 4 different tackles trying to figure something out, and they're all playing very poorly. They're just not good. So yeah, it should be a huge advantage for the Eagles. As I said, Jalen Phillips is going to be ready to go. As Nolan Smith gets more playing time, you want to see more from him. Jalen Hunt has been, I think, one of the better stories in the second half of the season. He's really starting to click and come on a little bit. And they become even more important with no Jalen Carter. So now, we talked about double teams, Morrow. Well, for the Chargers, it might be double teaming outside, and it helps you to not have to worry as much inside, and you can help more with the tight ends, the backs, and chips and things like that. So, but big advantage on paper for the Eagles.
Definitely a big advantage on paper, John. And then the other part of the defensive line that I think is a big one for this game is the Eagles' run defense versus the Chargers' run game. I mean, the Chargers are pretty middle of the pack running offense, but they've had good games with Kimani Valdal, his name is, and then Amarian Hampton, who might be back in this game. He was limited. He's been injured since early October, but there's a chance he would return in this game. And he's a threat in the passing game as well. So you obviously saw what DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monangai did last week. And you have no Jalen Carter. To me, that's a big part of this matchup for the Eagles.
Yeah, I mean they run the football pretty effectively. I mean, that's a Jim Harbaugh team. They like to run the ball. They have a fullback. One of the few teams that uses a fullback a decent amount of times. As you mentioned, you have Badal, who's maybe people haven't heard that much about, but he's been a good back, and he's really been effective since Hampton went down. So again, they're more in the class of not Gibbs and Montgomery, but what you saw last week. They're just as capable as Swift and Monangai, especially if Hampton's back, to have the 1-2 punch. But half of it is just Jim Harbaugh likes to run the football. He's a more conservative, old school guy. If you were rating the conservative level of the coaches, he'd be top 5 in the NFL. And they like to run it, and they're going to try to run it and work everything off that. And arguably, it's even more important this week because of what Herbert's dealing with. So I think it's going to be a big part to this game. And I think after last week, and I was talking to Byron Young yesterday, he said the same thing. Yeah, I mean, it's a copycat league. If you're watching the film of the Eagles last week, you're going to try to run the ball. I mean, why wouldn't you?
Yeah. You think they'll be successful with it? You're a lot more confident about this game than I think most Eagles fans are, John.
Well, yeah, I mean, the quarterback has got screws in his hand from Monday. Yeah, just had surgery, major surgery.
Yeah,
I realized.
Dr. Chow said there's actually a good chance he'd be better in this game versus than what he was when he returned to the game last week.
Well, yeah, I mean, well, he had a broken hand
Yeah,
last
but
week.
I mean,
I
and
mean,
they're gonna give him the whatever the painkillers are, whatever the heck it
yeah,
is, and all that stuff.
I mean, a tough guy, uh, but I mean, yeah, I mean, again, for some bizarre reason, Justin Herbert has been a guy that Eagles fans don't like because I don't know if there's a huge history, but tremendous quarterback. But I mean, talking to Jordan Mailata's comments, like, that I saw it piqued your interest. Like his body's breaking down. That's what the NFL is, man. I mean, the guy had major surgery on Monday. And he's coming back to play on Monday night.
Yeah.
And to think he's going to be his normal self, I think is not possible. I give him all the credit in the world, that because there's very little doubt in my mind that he's going to play, but it's not going to be Justin Herbert at his normal level. So I think that helps the Eagles. I do think the receivers, if they pass protect, are going to give the Eagles some trouble. I think Keenan Allen still. How old is Keenan Allen? That dude is amazing. What a player!
He's got to be up there. Keenan Allen, probably 32.
I mean, he is so productive.
33.
He is such a good route runner. And he's, at one point he was top 5 receiver in football, and he's not that any longer, but he's just a tremendous safety valve. And then Ladd McConkey's also a great route runner. And great route runners really give corners difficulty.
Yeah.
The guys who are really sharp and don't round things off. And
yeah, well, speaking of that, did you see George Pickens last night? Boy, that was
yeah, that was the Steelers, George Pickens.
That
He
was,
showed up at the worst time. Yeah, exactly. Good point. Terrible routes, not coming back to the football.
Nothing. I mean, no, man, just
had a really poor performance. And then Quentin Johnson's the talented one, and he drops the football a lot. So he's the one who I'm not as concerned with, even though he's the most gifted. But he is gifted, but he's just so inconsistent catching the football. But they're very talented at wide receiver, and we know the struggles of Adoree Jackson and Reed Blankenship. And now you have either Sidney Brown or Marcus Epps. So if they do have time to get the football down the field to those guys, it could be a problem.
Interesting stuff there, John. John, going over to the offensive side of the ball. Actually, real quick, one more side of the defense. Do you think Jihad Campbell will get more snaps this week? I mean, he got 0 last week.
No, I'm going to go over 0.
I'm going to go over 0 too.
Boy, I'm going to say it, and I love the guy. Kobe Dean's not playing well.
No, he's well. You think even more than just last week?
Oh yeah. And I love Vic too. I'm like, what are you looking at, dude? He said, well, that was because I asked that question as well about why didn't Jihad play? And he said, he should have done a better job. He certainly should have gotten him in there at some point because of how many defensive snaps they had to play. And, so I do think he'll be more cognizant on getting him in there. But then he went back to the fault. Well, N'Kobe's a good run defender, and we were having trouble stopping the run, and we wanted to keep him in there. And I'm like, that makes sense on the surface, obviously. So I went, because it's been more than this game, and I went to look at N'Kobe's numbers again, not perfect, but it's PFF numbers. He's 89th of 90 in run defense grade. 89th of 90. Now, look, I always say what you want about PFF, but when they say, and this is what I've always said, when they say you're playing well, you're playing well. And then you can argue about who's the best and who's the best. And when they say you're playing poorly, you're playing poorly. And 89th of 90 tells me you're playing poorly. And that's what my eye test told me. So I went to look at, all right, the reputation of Jihad Campbell is great athlete, great in space. It's been a good pass coverage guy. And that's what Vic started out with, which was Nakobe and base and Jihad and nickel. So he's fourth of 73 in coverage grade, Jihad Campbell. But he's 31st of 90 in run defense. Why is this guy not on the field? I don't get it. Other than reputation and, and again, I say the same thing, and people can say, well, you say don't put Tank Bigsby on the field to Saquon Barkley. Well, and I do say that, and I freely admit that hypocrisy. But I mean, Saquon Barkley's got more demonstrated performance than Nakobe Dean. Nakobe's been a good player, hasn't been a superstar. And Jihad Campbell, by the way, is a first-round pick. And not only, the Eagles got him late, but we all know that if he was healthy, he would have been a top 15, top 20 pick at worst. This is a guy with high-level talent who was playing. Now, that doesn't always translate to the NFL. There's plenty of bust, but he was playing like a high-level talent. He was playing that way. You were all excited about him, and rightfully so. And now he's forgotten about? For a guy who's 89th of 90 in run defense?
Yeah, you've been on this for a while. I mean, I'm a Nakobe guy. I like Nakobe, and I feel like
I'm a Nakobe guy.
That number doesn't maybe tell the whole story, but I don't know. Not ideal. I see what you're saying with that. So I guess you're expecting him to get on the field then a lot more on Monday?
Not a lot, a little bit. Because basically what it was before, some bizarre reason, as it's gone on, so week 8 was when Jihad was playing near 100% of the snaps, obviously, when Nakobe wasn't healthy. And then when he got back and was more part of the mix, he played 21 snaps, then he played 34, then he played 21, and then it was down to 11 and then 0. So I think you'll be back at least to the 11 to 20 range would be my guess. Still not a lot, still not what it should be. And I'm not even going into the fact that, hey, in 2026, it's Jihad's job. So what are we doing? I mean, he's playing better. It's his job in 2026. What are we doing? That's one where Howie's got to go, you know what? Vic, I love you, but we got to play Jihad Campbell.
Good stuff, John. Let's flip over to the other side of the ball for this game. Eagles offense, they've obviously been a struggling unit basically all year long, and this Chargers defense is pretty good, John. They are the number 3 ranked defense in the NFL, and they have a tremendous pass defense, John. They are second in the NFL in pass defense. They give up just 168 yards a game through the air, and they have not given up. Listen to this. They haven't given up 200 passing yards in a game in any of their last 5 games. They got great defensive backs. Obviously, Derwin James is a big one there. They got plenty of other players as well back there. Jackson and Jefferson both have 3 interceptions. That is Tony Jefferson and Dante Jackson. They don't blitz very much. I'm wondering if they'll blitz more. I think they're 20%.
And they got the good Tui Palo too.
Yeah.
We got Marlin. They got Tui.
What do you think, though, this offense versus defense, John? I basically trust this offense versus nobody. I just think they're going to have bad outputs every week.
That's why I think they're going to have a good game. Now I'm joking. Everything says this is not the game that they're going to get the passing game going. As you just stated, they give up 168 passing yards a game, which is second in the NFL. They have 16 third down sacks, which speaks to putting teams in bad positions, third and longs. They're top 10 in sacks overall, so they pressure well. Tui Pelotu is the biggest. Khalil Mack is still going, guy who Vic loves, had for 1 year. One of the best, not the same, obviously, at his age, but still produces at a big time level. Yeah, it's just a really good defense. And when you're struggling on offense, the NFL has a way of humbling you. That's what everyone says. And this is not the team you want on the schedule if you want to get your offense going. Bottom line. But you got to play who's on the schedule. And not going to be easy.
Nope.
Not going to be easy. I think it's about people don't want to hear. It's about getting the running game going.
Yeah, it is.
You ain't
next. I just want to start on Jalen in the passing game.
You ain't getting the passing game going.
They play a ton of zone coverage too, don't they? They're a zone team.
Yeah, well, and Derwin James is one of those guys. If he played on the East Coast, he'd probably be, much better known. But
yeah, he's an absolute beast.
Yeah, he's a big time player. So, yeah. And Mailata, I was talking about Mailata. He said the same thing. We got some new stuff in this week in the running game. So
what does that mean? What, John? Explain to me what that means. Why do I hear this every week?
Well, partially because when they went under center, in theory, that's new. It's not really new, but it's things they don't use very often. So again, they're trying to tweak things. Maybe they'll try some more, pin and pull. Maybe they'll try some more. Maybe they'll look at what Ben did with Chicago and say, all right, let's try to do more of that and try to do more outside zone with the cutback and see how Saquon handles it. Little tweaks like that. But they've been this entire time, while everybody talks about the passing game, they're trying to fix the running game. That's what they're trying to fix.
They've already accepted that the passing game blows. That's what that means.
Well, they've already accepted that for the passing game to not blow, they got to be in third and short.
Yeah, but even when the running game is good, it kind of blows from a volume standpoint for sure.
Well, but there's a difference in efficiency when they're third and short.
Yeah,
significant.
Well, that's obvious. Yeah, that's fair.
No, the volume's never going to be there. So for the people that want the number, and to a certain degree, the volume has been there in the losses because they're trying to come back and they're trying to throw the ball and I wouldn't be focused on the volume. AJ had a phenomenal game against Chicago. The problem is the efficiency of the passing game. And that is all focused on being in third and longs too much and all that. And they're in third and long because they can't run the ball. So that's when Nick says it's not one issue, it's layered. And it is, but their focus has been, and will continue to be getting the running game, and again, not up to last year's standard. That horse has left the barn. Getting up to, I would say, the Eagles standard, which is more of the Miles Sanders, DeAndre Swift eras. Can you get to that level? And if you get to that level, you're one of the best teams in the NFC again.
You seem to have confidence that they can get there.
Not necessarily, but I think it's more likely than revamping the passing game and turning into the greatest show on turf.
Is it more likely than them collapsing?
Yes. Oh, yeah. They're not collapsing. They're not collapsing.
What would you categorize as a collapse? They were 8-2. If they finished the season 10-7, is that a collapse? That's a collapse, right?
If they lose in the first round and get blown out, yeah, I'd call that a collapse. But I don't think they're going 2-3.
I don't either. I think they're going to go 3-2.
I think they might even go.
I feel a little more confident today.
Now, this is a big game. I think if they win this game, which they're wholly capable of. I mean, they're favorites, for God's sakes. If they win this game, they're going to win 4. They're going to win 4 or 5. It might even run the table because, again, the schedule stinks.
You're confident in this team that you have been all year.
No, it is not
a fair way to classify you.
It is not.
You're never too high and you're never too low.
It is not confidence in this team. It's incompetence in the opponents. The opponents stink.
It's not who we're playing, John. It's how we're playing. We're not a good team.
But what is Las Vegas going to do? What is?
I don't know. They ran for $190 last week. Do the same thing the Bears just did. Caleb Williams threw for less than 50%.
Well, that's people are, as we have seen, the transitive property doesn't work in the NFL. So I'm assuming the Eagles are not going to give up 208. Yes, I have a lot of confidence they're going to be under 281 yards given up rushing. A lot of confidence.
I have confidence in that. That's fair.
A lot of confidence. So I don't really care. We just got a huge explanation of why they gave up 281 yards. And Jalen Carter playing the way he played. We just got that explanation.
Yeah, but now he's not even on the field. I mean,
do you want him on the field?
No, I don't.
That version of Jalen
Was it
Carter
easier for the Bears with him on the field not playing up to his potential, or is it easier for the Chargers without him on the field at all? I mean, if he's on the field, you still pay attention.
Well, that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
That Jalen Carter is not helping you. No, a healthy Jalen Carter helps you immensely. That Jalen Carter against Chicago Bears did not help you. That was his worst game as a professional. And that was long before I looked at I came on here. It's one of the few times I say it all the time. And you do the post-game show, so you'll ask me questions and it's hard to decipher things in the immediate moment. And you say, well, you got to look at the film and you got to see what happened. I said right away, that's one of the worst games I've ever seen him play. It was so obvious how poor it was to the naked eye. And then you look at the grades afterwards. I'm trying to pull it up. What it was. Let's see. All right, Eagles. He got a 32.8. This is one of the best players, most gifted players the Eagles have ever had. It was a flipping disaster. So, I mean, that guy who showed up against Chicago, that's what I was trying to say earlier in the show. He's not helping you. So you're literally, you're going to be better with, I'm not going to say Ty Robinson, but you're going to be better with.
Don't say that. I feel like even his presence, though, John, like even if he's not playing well, don't teams still look at him and like, all right, he's still Jalen Carter. They don't know what's going on with him.
Well, they do now.
Now they do, but he's not out there.
Well, the Bears knew.
All right, John, I just said it. You're never too high and you're never too low. If the Eagles lose on Monday, will you start to look at this team a little differently?
Well, it depends. If they lose 40-7, yes.
They're not going to lose 40-7. They're going to lose 23-20, and the offense is going to be brutal.
Then
you're going to have to scrape for every point like you always do. That's this team.
I just said they could certainly lose this game. The Chargers are a good team, not a great team, but they're a good team. It wouldn't surprise me if the Chargers won the game at all. But no, so if it's 23-20, no, I'm not gonna panic because the Raiders are coming up and the Commanders are coming up, and the Cowboys just shot themselves in the foot again.
Yeah.
So you have more time to figure things out, even though they should have figured things out. But nonetheless, you have some time to get back to playing solid football because of the Dallas Cowboys' inability to put some pressure on you. So. And that could be a negative thing as well if you want to look at it from the urgency standpoint. They don't have a lot of urgency right now. Now, if you're talking about the number one seed and they got to run out the table and hope for a lot of things, yeah, I don't have a lot of confidence in that. So they're going to have to go through what they went through last year and play 4 games and hope other teams lose and all that kind of stuff. Or they're going to have to go on the road. And that makes it much more difficult. That part of it, yeah, I've already baked into it. They're not getting the number one seed. So to me, it's about just getting and playing your best football in January when the playoffs start. And now they have less of a sense of urgency to get things done and more ability to figure things out. Not that they will, but it starts with the running game, and we'll see if they can get it again, not to the level of. And Jalen Hurts, that was probably the biggest part of his press conference. He was asked about the reports about him not wanting to run, and he kind of asked where'd they come from.
What do you mean? You see his numbers are way down since.
Yeah, he seemed perplexed. He was. He just does that sometimes. He likes to
perplex.
He likes to make the questioner uncomfortable at times. But I have heard, because what I heard very early in the season was that yes, they were trying to better manage him from a health standpoint, and as things get later and more high leverage, it will ramp up. And I already see that happening. So when you get to the playoffs, I think he's going to run with impunity. I think the Eagles and Jalen Hurts don't think that's wise in week 1 and week 2 and week 3, even though, you'll hear the lip service of every game's important. You also have to be realistic. So I think you already see it ramping up. It will continue to ramp up. So that will help. So I think you have that card in your back pocket. But even with that, you need Saquon. You got to figure out how to get Saquon going to an acceptable level.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, to me, that's the whole thing. That's the whole linchpin to it. I mean, I wrote about this last week. They put up 2 pictures in the locker room last year. The one said Savior, and the one said Chosen One, and they were framed photos of Saquon, backed by the offensive line.
Savior and Chosen One. I wouldn't use that to describe any human being, but okay.
Well, exactly. This was last year, by the way. They haven't been taken down. They should be taken down.
Savior?
Yes. That's the kind of impact he had on this team and this organization. And you saw Howie Roseman on one of those things. I don't know where he said it. One of those unscripted things where he was shown telling Saquon Barkley that he was the difference. He was the one who got us over the hump. That's what they believe. He hasn't been that guy this year, to say the least. How do you get him back? I'm not even saying get him back to that guy. I'm saying getting him back to a Miles Sanders level or a DeAndre Swift level. Is that possible? How is that not possible? If that's not possible, we should pull the plug right now on the season. Because if that's not possible, yeah, they're not going anywhere.
Well, it hasn't been possible in 12. This is where I don't know where your confidence comes from. 12 games. Is that not a big enough sample size for you to say it's not coming? They are who they are, just like you say in the passing game. That's not what I'm telling you about the running game.
Well, then, but the difference is I believe there is, room for improvement or deprovement, making up words. You can go one way, you can go another way. Obviously things are not static, which I talk about all the time. I can't sit here and say, though, if you're asking me, that he can't get to the level of Miles Sanders or DeAndre Swift.
He can get there. He's got to be able to. I get why you're confident about it. It feels like it should be easy.
Well, that's not even the right word. It's like, that's not that big of a bar is my point. Like if you're saying 2,005 yards, yeah, he's not that guy. I'm not looking for that bar.
Well, here's a simple thing to do. Catch, I agree. Big improvement, that's easy. Keep tight end 81 out of the damn play calls. The guy can't block. I agree. I don't know what they're doing.
Well, blame Howie for that one.
Wait, John, where are these pictures where they're calling Saquon the chosen one and savior? That is weird shit. You might have to get a picture of these things today.
I think I have pictures, but they're way back on the photo roll. I have too many pictures. My God.
You can search by a word in the photo.
Can you? Yeah, but how do you search by word when it doesn't have the information? Like it doesn't know who.
No, but it like if you search it'll scan your photos. See, like I just typed in savior and a picture of my church book came up where they highlighted.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It has no information. So it's just like I don't label the photos.
No, you don't label, but if it says savior clearly, it'll find it. It'll find it. If I don't know, maybe it won't. Who knows? These phones are smart nowadays. I don't know. I just think that's weird that they put that up there, but whatever. It teaches.
That was last year. It was a big deal. I'm surprised.
Chosen one. Isn't that what LeBron calls himself too? The chosen one.
I don't know. He didn't. And by the way, it wasn't Saquon doing it. They did it. The offensive line did it. It wasn't Saquon.
No, I know that. I'm not saying Saquon's the weirdo. I'm saying the organization is weird.
December 6th, 2024. First story. I just searched, and anybody can do it. Search Savior Chosen One, Saquon Barkley.
Savior Chosen One. This is weird.
What two frame photos of Saquon Barkley say about the Eagles? It's our buddy Martin Frank, the first one.
There you go.
Underneath one picture, the words "the chosen one" are written. Underneath the other, "our Savior" are written. Second one is Sports Illustrated. New York Times, Saquon is Philadelphia's chosen one. Yeah, it was all over the place last December. And do you remember when Howie said that? I don't know. Does anyone remember what that was on? I don't know if it was unscripted or.
I don't remember. I'm not a huge fan of the state media stuff. I really don't like it that much. I know a lot of fans do, but maybe
I know. I don't like it at all.
A lot of fans get mad at us on JAKIB, John, because they've become used to everybody just glazes the Eagles. They love it, man. Everybody loves glazing the birds. It's not really my style. Here's the picture. Our Savior. It's even weirder. Our Savior.
Yeah.
Where's the chosen one? I guess it's not on this one. That's a different one.
It's right next to it.
This is the one I pulled from the article. Jeez.
Yeah. Well, that was last year when he was having the year he was having. This year he's not having that year. I have to double check today. I don't know. They might have pulled down the tape. The pictures are still there, but you know, that was probably 3 weeks ago. I don't think they're going to rip them down.
No, I don't either. Saquon's going to walk by and be like, what the heck? I'm not the savior anymore. No, you got to run for a little bit more than 38 yards a game, Saquon. I mean, you're up 21. You got 10 for 22.
No, come on. He's
over here, Saquon.
Saquon is at 61.7 yards per game.
60. Is that what he's at? Yeah. So he's probably right on pace for 1,000 because there's 17 games.
Oh, he's on pace for 1,000. It's easy to run. If you're healthy for 17 games,
60 yards a game, isn't that what it is?
Yeah, right, it's not hard. That part's not that good. That just means you're healthy and you're a starter.
Yeah, it's 58 yards a game, get you 1,000 yards a year.
Yeah,
if you have 17 games. So he's right over. He'll get to the 1,000 mark, but he won't get to anywhere close to what he did a year ago. Let's get to some super chats here today, John. I'm going to look at some of the games also in the NFL, and we'll take a look at them. Dirty D, what's up, brother? Looks like Epps will start. Sidney Brown needs to stay on special teams. Yeah, I could agree with that. I don't know how much of an improvement Epps is going to be, though. People seem to be confident about Epps. I don't,
2022 stasis. Everything stays the same. Marcus Epps is not the player he was in 2022.
Jay Rizzle says he bets me an egg sandwich. Hurts hurls 3 tutties and 340. I'll take that bet. I'll take that bet. You want to Venmo me 8
3 tutties, 3 touchdown passes?
Yeah.
Well, that's anything's possible, but I mean.
Super Tank says I come off as a hater, John. I'm not a hater. I'm just I'm not very confident in this team right now. I'm a lot less confident than John.
I love it because normally I'm the hater when you all think they should be 17-0. And now Xander's the hater. When I say they're not the worst team in the world at 8-4.
John, steady Eddie, and I will more ride the emotional highs and lows of the year. Here's Brandon Lewis. Harbaugh and Vic know each other from the Niner days. That's true.
Yeah, well, I mean, Harbaugh's been around for a long time, and Vic's been around for even a longer time. Everybody knows everybody in the NFL. So, yeah, Vic has tremendous respect for Jim Harbaugh as a football guy. I think his old school nature plays into an ability to beat the Chargers, though. I don't like it. I wouldn't go that direction with my coach in this era.
Yeah, fair enough. Here's and Sean. What's up, Sean? Great to see Hurts explain how changing offensive coordinators shaped him, noting how structure helps development. Back to his father coaching him. In respect to J-Mac, he's pointed this out plenty while talking about Hurts.
Oh yeah, his dad is a big and the ball security stuff, man, that's been in his life for a long time, long before the Eagles. His father was very hard on him when it came to ball security. It's a big deal. It's always been ingrained in him. Now they've just elevated it. But the 1 year, I remember talking in the off season that, the 1 year is in 2023 when his turnover spiked, I compared him to the one bad year Dak had, who's always been, very ball security conscious. It'll get better. I was very confident in that because he's always protected the football. The problem is they've gotten too conservative, in my opinion. They've taken it too far, and you want to find a better balance. But, he's got 19 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, which is amazing. And also points to the NFL as a whole. Unless you're really shitty, like insert names who throw the football all over like lunatics, like JJ. Poor JJ. I'm always ripping on him. It's never been easier. It's never been harder to get interceptions in the NFL against good quarterbacks. Never been harder.
Sean, appreciate the super chat. Brother, here's JD3. What's up, JD3? Fun fact, during the tush-push era, the Eagles had a 100% success rate running the play with Harrison Bryant. Is he the greatest pusher of all time? Wow, Harrison.
Is that preseason? Because I don't, he didn't play. So
Where JD, you're gonna have to back this up. I don't know what the heck you're
Yeah.
talking about here.
Yeah, he got traded in the preseason, so he never played a game for the Philadelphia Eagles. Tough, but I guess 0 for 0 is 100% in a weird way.
No, it's not. It's 0%.
I'm joking. In a weird way.
You got to register one. JD3, what are you doing, dude? What are you doing here? Here we go. Let's get a pumper. What's a show without a pumper comment? Watching 13 weeks of this circus, what gives any human being the ammo to say they're confident in this team? What snake oil salesman is Nick offering you?
Well, Zander said I was confident. I'm
not speaking for you. You seem confident though. Like you seem like you're like
my confidence is based on everybody else. The difference between the Eagles this year and last year they were better than everybody else. This year they're part of the class. They're part of the contender class. They're like everybody else. They can beat everybody else and they can lose to everybody else, depending on how they play on a particular day. That wasn't the case last year. If they brought their A game, they were going to win. They were a dominant team. If they bring their A game this season, or what it's been, they might beat the Rams. They might not beat the Rams. They might beat the Packers. They might not beat the Packers. They're just one of the crowd now.
I feel like they're playing worse than the crowd, though.
Well,
they have the worst offense of a contender. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's fair. Certainly from an efficiency standpoint, that's fair. But there's other parts to it, and that's how they've won games. And those other parts, the defense might show up again. Who knows? They're not going to. I'm pretty confident. I am confident that they're not going to play as poorly as they did against Chicago. I am confident in that, even without Jalen Carter. Although longer term, I'm more worried about the loss of Jalen Carter and how long it is, and even if he comes back, is he going to be the same player? Those are legitimate concerns.
The doc seemed confident that it would help him longer term, like in terms of going for a Super Bowl this year. He was talking about.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's certainly a short-term fix,
for sure.
and he would know better than me. I do know now, and I don't know how deep you got in the conversation with him. I do know it's still not approved in the United States as a as FDA approved or whatever, but a lot of that is political all the time, and it's like, can you make money on it? Like, we're a very corrupt society.
Yes, we are. Yeah, yes, we are.
Like, it just because it's not approved doesn't mean, like, as I said, some athletes swear by it who've done it. So if it works, it works. If it's bullshit and it's like a sugar pill, I don't know. He's the doctor. He can tell you more about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's pretty good stuff. I mean, from what I've heard, I know my mom did stem cell treatment a little bit ago. And I think that, I don't know, that's different than this, but I think it's like in the same kind of like area, if you will. I've heard it's pretty good. I don't know. The doc did seem confident that it was going to help him.
Well, that's what I said. It's basically they draw your blood, they concentrate, because I had to look this up yesterday. They concentrate the platelets in the blood in a centrifuge and then inject the blood back into you in the affected area, affected, not infected. That's what it is. That's it. So, a lot of tendonitis issues, a lot of sprains, cosmetic purposes, blah, blah, blah. That's what it is. That's all it is. And that's why it's procedure. The Eagles very constant procedure, not a surgery. That's what they were talking about. Now, I didn't even know if this is what he got. but this is the speculation. I haven't confirmed this is exactly what happened. But so you separate the platelets from the other blood components, centrifuge it, inject it back in. And again, some athletes have done it and said it's reduced pain, improves function, accelerates healing, blah, blah, blah. But, for whatever reason, it's considered off-label is what they call it, and have not received FDA clearance for, like other medical procedures. Yeah. But again, that could be for a million different reasons.
Related. Yeah, that's money related. Somebody that wants to make a lot of money on it is not going to make as much money on it because of the way
exactly
they're not approving it. There's some sort of weird reason.
And for many years, athletes would have to go outside the country to get it done.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Here's Charles. What's up, Charles? How you doing, brother? He says, what, if anything, could the Eagles do on Monday that would lead you to believe that this team is ready to make a run? Run the ball. I'm not out on them making a run. It's just hard to believe right now based on the way they're playing football. But as John points out, not a lot of great competition, and just get in, and then it's any given Sunday. You just got to win a game, man. Just got to win a game. Keep moving.
Well, yeah, I mean, to the overriding point of what can they do on Monday, probably nothing to change my opinion. But the most positive would be, run for 150 yards. But I mean, then they might show up and then lay an egg, probably not against Las Vegas, but against Washington. I mean, this season's going to be a slog. There's going to be good weeks and bad weeks. And can you play your best football at the right time and get through the playoffs? That's basically all it's about. And nothing's going to prove it in these final 5 games until you get there. And that's just the way it's going to be. And that's for every team. The Rams just lost to the freaking Carolina Panthers. We're improving in a much improved team, and they deserve a lot of credit.
Carolina might squeak in. They might squeak in if the
they might squeak in, but if you watch that game, and I watched a lot of that game, and Les was talking about it yesterday, the Rams shot themselves in the foot. It's the exact same thing. Stafford's turning the football over uncharacteristically. Every team has had that game. And will likely continue to have that game. I don't see anybody emerging as like, I can't beat that team. The Rams are the closest. And they already beat the Rams. They got outplayed, but they beat them. And you could argue they're in the Rams' head. Collective head. So I think that would be a big hurdle for the Rams. And maybe they can get over it. Maybe they can't.
Charles, appreciate the super chat. What's up, Niall? He says, after watching Detroit's secondary the past 2 weeks, Eagles offense should be arrested for malpractice, only scoring 16 against them. Well, nobody scored. I mean, remember, Detroit's offense only scored 9 that game.
Yeah, again, the weather. Come on. Detroit, Chicago. Pay attention to the weather. There's nobody. Are you there? I mean, the people are there. The people who are there know. They had to sit in that bullshit. I mean, sometimes 30-mile-an-hour winds show up. It was 40 in the Detroit game.
I just feel like that's not a great excuse for your offense to go completely kaput because those conditions come often at this time of the year, especially in the playoffs.
Well, that's true, but everybody has your point. How did Detroit do?
Yeah.
How did Caleb Williams do? Forget about the Eagles, because how did those guys do? That was Jared Goff's worst game as a professional from a accuracy.
By the way, he doesn't look the same this year.
He looked freaking good last night. But he's a guy who needs all his weapons, and he doesn't have all his weapons, and but he looked better because Brown was out there and then you have Brown, you have Williams, and you have Gibbs, and they can be competent, and they were much more than competent. But again, indoors, bad defense, outdoors 40-mile-an-hour winds, defense playing better at that particular time. My only point is forget the Eagles and look at Jared Goff and Caleb Williams. How did they play in those two games if you don't think the weather mattered?
It's fair.
Well, then, I mean,
Gary was at the game. He said, I couldn't even pull my hand out of my pocket at the Detroit game.
Yeah, it was bad. It was a bad environment for offensive football. Doesn't mean you couldn't be better, but it's difficult. It's going to be more difficult when the weather is crappy. And more than rain and snow, it's wind that affects quarterbacks.
Interesting stuff. John, let's look at a couple games in the NFL. We'll get back into the Eagles as well to close out the show, but I do want to hit a couple of these games. Not a lot of great games this weekend. There's obviously a couple that really stick out compared to the rest of them. I guess the Bengals and the Bills is okay because Burrow's back, but Saints-Bucks, kind of a snooze fest. Steelers-Ravens, I know it's a great rivalry, but I don't know. I'm out on that a little bit. Bears-Packers is a great one.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think, John?
NFC North, baby.
Yeah,
NFC North lead. Well, it's at Lambeau, so I'm going to go. You got to go Packers at Lambeau.
Even if it wasn't at Lambeau, I think you're taking the Packers.
Yeah, probably. I don't.
You like the Packers this year, J-Mac. They're a good team.
They are, but I don't consider them again unbeatable because Jordan Love is inconsistent.
Yeah,
their defense is gonna show up though.
They're good defense, for
sure. I thought it was a moment. I thought it was
Miles would be Michael would be Defensive Player of the Year if it wasn't for Myles Garrett being going.
Yeah.
Terminated.
The day it happened, I thought, I get it. He wanted to keep him away from the Eagles. I get it. I get that part of it, but man, you should have kept him away from the Packers too.
Solid squad. So you got the Packers in that game?
Yeah.
So if that happens, then the Bears would fall to 9-4, and the Packers would go to 9-3-1. So that'd be interesting. That'd be interesting. Interesting.
Yeah, and they still have to play. They have both games
again. Yeah, they got to play again.
So that's the thing about these teams. So the Rams have already beaten Seattle once, so they have one more game with them. But the Bears and Packers got to play twice. So, people have to lose those games. They might tie again, but I doubt it. Somebody's got to lose those games. The Eagles are coasting to the NFC East title. Now, Dallas had an opportunity to put some at least urgency on the game and the Chargers, the game with the Chargers.
And they didn't.
And they didn't.
I guess if they won out the Cowboys, which doesn't even feel possible to me anymore, but I don't see that. All right, John, another game this weekend. Let's go AFC side here. Texans and Chiefs. That Texans team has really come alive. Do you think they put the Chiefs, the Chiefs are down right now. Maybe they can put the proverbial.
Boy, I hope so. You know me, my policy. I'm done with the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm bored with them.
I still like Andy Reid. I got to be honest. I
love Andy Reid, but I just, I want to see new blood. I'm looking for new blood. That's what I want. So I want to see New England.
Eagles aren't new blood.
No, I didn't say I wanted to see the Eagles.
This is the problem. I know you don't like the Chiefs, but
it's not that I don't like the Chiefs.
New blood.
I said I would rather, but early on, I would. First of all, I don't know if this is any big revelation to fans of the show, and I know they can't wrap their heads around this, but I am not an Eagles fan. I'm tired of the Eagles too. I want some new freaking blood. I want to see the Patriots. I want to see the Broncos. I want to see some new blood. The worst thing for me personally, another Eagles Chiefs Super Bowl.
I don't think
I would have ended my life quite possibly.
No, don't say that, John. Don't
Like,
say.
that's a complete joke because
I know,
people
I
take
know. But
things.
still, I don't even like hearing.
That people take things way too seriously. I forget. I can't make jokes. Yeah, that would have been a nightmare for me. All those same tropes and those same bullshit narratives. God, that would be a nightmare for me.
People are calling you out saying the Patriots are new blood. They're not new blood.
Yeah, they are.
I agree with you. They're a new team. It's a completely different squad.
Completely different.
Different coach,
Completely different. Completely. I'm not talking about history and how many titles they have. I'm talking about recently. It's the Eagles Chiefs, the Eagles Chiefs, the Eagles Chiefs. Oh, the NFL likes the Chiefs. Oh, the NFL likes the Eagles. Blah, blah, blah. I'm sick of it.
I just hope we don't end up with some snooze fest, man.
Well, it's not possible to have a snooze fest because
I don't know. My whole perspective on the rest of the league now, being watching the Eagles all the time, is I just want it to be entertaining. That's it. Because the Eagles are some of the most unentertaining football I have.
yeah, they are. There's no doubt about that. It is a tough watch, the Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah, you saw some entertaining football last night, even on a Thursday night. Well, people like offense, so I presume that was entertaining for them. 44-30, blown coverages all over the place. If you look inside, George Pickett's not running routes. There's some
What was
ugly
up with that
football.
last night, by the way? Like, dude just
Well,
took the night off.
that's one of the knocks on the guy, and he's talented. Who knows? Why does he show up one week? I don't know. It's part of the problem. Ken, they're not video games. They're human beings.
Yeah. Not going to be as good every day. I get it. And here's WCBJJ. What's up, brother? Let's just make it to the playoffs. Get all the players on Trenbolone and let's go. That will help their broke down bodies. I don't even know what Trenbolone is, but it sounds like something goofy.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. But
Trenbolone is an androgen and anabolic steroid of the nandrolone group, which itself was never marketed. I don't know what the heck that means.
Yeah, well, steroids isn't as prevalent as it once was, and if you are going to go that way, you got to probably go, more human growth hormone. I think is the way to go, but who knows?
Who knows? We are off on a tangent here on a football Friday. That's all right. I don't know what the hell Trenbolone is. John, a couple other games in the NFL. Colts, Jags on the AFC side is actually not that.
Yeah, Shane's falling apart. Poor Shane.
They're both 8-4. Well, why do you say the Colts are falling apart, but the Eagles aren't falling apart? They're both 8-4.
Well, I'm being facetious because everybody thinks Shane is the he's got a quarterback playing with a broken leg, so it makes it a little bit more difficult. It's no, they're having a very good season overall. But early on they look like a potential number one contender, and now they're fighting for their playoff lives. That AFC South is probably the division that is much better than anyone expected. With Jacksonville and Houston starting to play well again. Yeah. So can Houston get back and steal it from those two teams? There's something about Jacksonville. No offense, Tony, if you're listening, but I still don't, I don't trust Trevor Lawrence. Hasn't lived up. Part of it is I thought he was going to be really good, so I'm disappointed. Something about him is just not there. There's no it factor. But I think Indianapolis has the best team. But I mean, if your quarterback isn't healthy,
what is he dealing with, Daniel Jones?
He's got a broken fibia.
Literally broken?
Yeah.
How the hell do you play on that?
Well, that's not the weight. Whichever one, and I shouldn't say it with such. Whichever is not the weight-bearing one, which I believe is the fibia. But any doctors out there, feel free to correct me. But yeah, it was broken. Obviously not a serious break, not a compound fracture, and he's playing through it.
Shooter McGavin says, "Welcome to Pats Nation, John. Hashtag new blood." Shooter's a Pats fan.
Well, for what does Tom Brady and Bill Belichick have to do with Drake May and Mike Vrabel? How do people not get
I
the
will
new
say I
blood
love
part?
watching Drake May because he climbs the pocket, man, and delivers the ball downfield. I'm like, boy, I don't know if I've ever watched Jalen Hurts climb the pocket like that. That thing,
Like if you're cyclical, I mean, everything in this league is cyclical. Like if you want to go back, like the Jags, or I was just talking about that, they were in the championship game with Doug Marrone, and are they not new blood if they were going to a deep run? Like what do people not get?
are you buying the Patriots right now? Because they've had a pretty
Well,
soft.
they've had a soft schedule, but I mean, I'm buying Mike Vrabel and I'm buying Drake May,
Yeah,
and
me
they have a
too.
good defense.
Milton
Now,
Williams.
why not?
Right now, but he's been playing good.
The AFC is even worse than the NFC. That's my fear of Kansas City. If they run the table and get in, and then that's my nightmare because all these teams are unproven.
What is let me look at the playoff picture right now. I got to look at this playoff picture here in the NFL.
Yeah, they're kind of buried, but you fear it's like Jason. It's like a horror movie. You feel like they're going to come back to life, even though it's probably very, very unlikely.
I don't know how many people would have believed this if you told them the AFC playoff picture before the year. New England's 1 seed, Broncos are 2 seed, Jaguars are 3 seed, Ravens are the 4th seed, Chargers are the 5th seed, Indianapolis is the 6th seed, Buffalo is the 7th seed. Now that's obviously will change, quickly with the results of this weekend's games, but still, that's not the teams I expected to be up at the top of the AFC. Same with the NFC, by the way. Bears.
Yeah, and it could change a lot. Houston is coming on, and they might jump both of them in the AFC South. Pittsburgh still, is deadlocked with the Ravens, but the Ravens have the tiebreaker. The Chiefs, that's the good thing. They're way behind the Broncos, and it's going to be tough for them to get a wild card. And then even Miami, people have pointed out their shitty schedule down the stretch, and they're going to start winning some games. They already
No
have.
way. No, I cannot buy Miami.
No, I mean they have a really easy schedule. So, and they have started winning some games. But no, I'm not. They're buried, and they're just not a good team. But the AFC, like I think Denver has a ton of holes and I don't think Bo Nix is playing nearly as well as people think he is.
Yeah, he's not.
But if they made it to the Super Bowl, wouldn't surprise me because who's good in that group? Who's like locked down in that group?
That's why I kind of believe in the Patriots. Same thing over there. Like I don't know, I mean, they could lose any game, but they could also win any game. I mean,
yeah, there's no dominant teams, so
the NFL is really not a great product this year.
I think healthy, the Colts were the best team early in the season, but now they're, it's part of it.
Are they Detroit with Sauce Gardner? Is he done?
No, he's coming back. He's got a calf injury, but he's out for a couple games. But they got to make the playoffs. They're no guarantee to make the playoffs now. The Colts.
All right, let me do this real quick here. I want you to pick division winners for me in the NFC. NFC North, who do you think wins the division?
Packers.
Who do you think wins the South? Bucks are 7-5. Panthers are 7-6.
Boy, I hate both of them.
Me too.
The Bucks because of their history. They'll find a way, but they're not a good team. I'd like to see the Panthers. New blood.
I would too.
What
about the West? 9-3.
I think the Rams
9-3 Seattle and 9-4 Niners.
I think the Rams are gonna. Sam's my guy. I like Sam, but I saw him last week and like it's a 27-0 game or whatever it was, and I think people don't realize that they looked at the score and didn't realize he did not play well. you had a pick six, you had another ugly interception, you had a bunt, but you had I 3 or 4 interceptions. I forget what it was, short fields. Wore him down late, but early in the game, and his numbers were not good because they have a good pass rush. At least when they blitz. Um, so I think the Rams are the better team. So I'll lean towards the Rams. And the Eagles I've already declared the Eagles the NFC East champions.
Yeah, I don't
Not official, but I've called the race. Birds 365 projects the Philadelphia Eagles will be.
There you go. Like a political news station.
Yes.
Projection from Birds 365. The East is over. Let's see what happens going into it. Big game on Monday. John, I want you to give me a pick on it today, but I don't necessarily, I'm not going to hold you to it. It could easily change by Monday based on what you see this weekend, or maybe a different injury news from the Birds or the Chargers.
Well, I already got the big injury news.
Oh,
and I'll tell you right now, because who cares? I was going to pick the Eagles, and now I am not going to pick the Eagles.
Wow, you're going to pick the Chargers?
Yeah. Well, I always thought it was going to be like a field goal game. And I was not aware of, how bad Jalen Carter's situation was until yesterday. So it shouldn't have impacted my thought from that process if I just said, like, if the Jalen Carter from Chicago shows up, he's not helping you anyway. So it doesn't change that much from what was going on, but just the knowledge of what he's been going through and what that, and now having that context to what the struggles have been. Some of the struggles have been defensively. That's a big issue long term if you can't get them back healthy for the playoffs. And again, that's a crapshoot with PRP treatments. And it's certainly a Band-Aid, not a fix.
So you're picking the Chargers to win this game, and that would put the Eagles at 8-5, and you're still picking them to win the East, huh?
Yeah, the Cowboys are buried, man. They're buried. The hole was too deep. It's not that the Eagles are that great. The Cowboys are. There's nobody. The Commanders are not coming. The Giants are not coming.
I get it, but Rachel's right. I mean, you said they were going to go 4-1. You said maybe.
What, the Cowboys?
No, Eagles.
Well, potentially, I said if they win. Again, people miss. If they win on Monday night, I think they'll go 4-1.
Okay. So if they lose Monday night, you got them 3-2?
Monday night's a pick'em game. Either way, it was going to be a pick'em game. Again, it wouldn't shock me if the Eagles won the game, but without Jalen Carter, and some of the issues they're already having, it's a difficult game. Now, on the other hand, as I said, the Chargers are not going to be the same with the banged up Justin Herbert coming off surgery on Monday. So both of these teams are, and that's why it's a pick'em game. That's why the Eagles are favored by 3. It's going to be a field goal game. And Cameron Dicker's a good kicker.
Did Carter what the news about Carter yesterday, did that change the line at all?
I haven't looked at the line. It might have.
I don't follow the lines too much.
Yeah, I don't follow it. That was Jody's job when he was here. I'm not a gambling guy, so
me neither. I've never thought it was a great way to go off of, to gauge, but let me look at what it is. I know it was like 3.5, I think. Eagles are -2.5. So they're favorites. I mean, they're favorites on the road, and I think you get 3 for being at home, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Well, they were -3, so it moved it a half point if it did, but if that's the case.
Fair enough. All right, John, a couple minutes left in the show today. What's on the agenda for the Birds today as we get closer? Everything got moved back a day, so I'd imagine.
Yeah, today's a Thursday on a Friday, so practice is at 2 2 o'clock-ish, somewhere in that range. And then locker room is 4:30. And we won't get to talk to the head coach about Jalen Carter till Saturday, when everybody will not be paying attention. So, yeah.
John, is it fair to say the Eagles need Jalen Hurts to kind of go MVP mode, based on what we've seen from this running game and just I don't think you can rely on it anymore. And if this team does want to make a run here and go and accomplish what they want to accomplish, it feels like Jalen has to play some MVP level football.
How about play better? I'm not going to go MVP mode because he's not going to play like the MVP. But how about play winning football? How about that?
He's had moments this year where he's looked dominant.
Yeah, I don't think he has. I think he's had outlier statistical games. And again, I think people overrate like the passer rating. Oh, he had a 153. He played a perfect game. Wasn't even that effective if you look at it in the game. Minnesota had a chance to win the game with Carson Wentz. So I don't think he's played anywhere near MVP level football this season. So I'm not expecting that. But can he play winning football? Yeah, he does that all the time. And he needs to get back. If you're going to play the way they play, you got to cut out the turnovers, which he was very honest about. In Chicago, he had 2 turnovers. So that's number one. And the second part is, I do think as you get later in the season, quarterback run game will get more involved, and that'll help the run game overall, and that'll help the person in second down deficiencies and negative plays, and that should help third down. And that's the goal. Small steps, not MVP steps, small steps.
Will Kevin Patullo have a good game on Monday, John? I don't even know how to gauge whether he has a good game or not.
Results. So 40 points. So no.
Going there.
So, well, I mean, it's like the easiest thing ever. I don't know. People want to be lied to. I don't know.
What's funny? Did you hear them talking about George Pickens' routes last night?
No.
All he runs is hitches and slants. I'm like, where else have I heard that?
Yeah, he runs a shitload of slants. I know that.
Yeah, and go balls. Hitch, slants, and goes. I'm like, oh, it sounds like the Eagles offense.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it when it works. Only when it doesn't work does it become you got to scheme them open. Actually, Jason Kelsey said this week, there's never been a team who's gone to the Super Bowl by out scheming everybody. Never will be.
Good comment.
Never will be. He's 100% right. Never will.
That's why you're not buying the Bears.
No. I did buy the Lions, not because of Ben Johnson, because of Jahmyr Gibbs and Jamison Williams and Amon St. Brown and Sam Laporta. That's why I bought the Lions last year. Not Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
Now he's a part of it. He's good at what he does, but you don't have the horses. You ain't out scheming your way to the Super Bowl. You can't even get to the Super Bowl with the horses. It's hard. Number one, but you need players, man. And your best players, here's what the Eagles need to do. This is going to be very controversial. Their best players have to play like their best players. Their perceived best players. Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, Jalen Carter, Lane Johnson when he gets back, Jordan Mailata. They have to play A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. They have to play like their best players.
Yeah,
which they have not done.
Playing all that well either.
Which they have not done too often this season.
No, they haven't. And 2 of the best players, as you just named, are out. Carter and Lane. And they're 0-2, by the way, without Lane this year.
Well, Fred will just step in. No problem.
Fred. Who's he got this week? He's going up against Tui Pelotu, isn't he?
Yeah, you got Mac and Tui Pelotu, but Mac's usually on
that side,
right side. But they flip, I imagine. I gotta hunker down on the Chargers. I'm behind my Chargers work, but they have a good pass rush. I know
they're a
that.
boring squad, the Chargers.
Well, it's more, LA and not a lot of too much to do. But I do know they're third in the NFL in defense. Pass defense is second. They have the third most sacks on third down. And Tui Pelotu's having a hell of a year. Top 10 in sacks. He's got like 15, 16 tackles for loss on top of that. Really good player. Really good player. Very good defense. Jesse Minter's defense.
Yeah. I've heard this now a couple of times, John. How much longer do you think Vic Fangio will go?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, he's healthy. He likes being around. Phillies fan. I think he likes the Phillies more than the Eagles.
He definitely does. He loves the Phillies.
No, he's very passionate about.
It kind of reminds me of you, though, John, where it's like he works in football,
Exactly.
So he likes Phillies because it's not, he doesn't work in it.
But I mean, he is 67 years old, so anytime you get up to that level, I mean, usually it's health more than anything else. He's healthy, so as long as he's healthy, I think he's going to keep going.
Fair enough. All right, John, good show today, man, on Football Friday. We'll see. I don't know. You come off confident on this team to me, John.
Confident on the lack of strength of the other teams.
They do all stink. If they lose on Monday and your prediction,
I just gave you the list. I mean, all their good players aren't playing like they should be playing. So I don't know if that's confidence as much as they better start playing like they should be playing.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, John, good stuff today, man. We'll be looking for your report. And as always, let's see if we get any breaking news today. We got some yesterday with the Jalen Carter news. We will find out. Johnny Mac, good show, brother. I'll talk to you on Monday.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
All right, thanks, Jim Mac. There's Johnny Mac. John McMullen joining me right here on Birds 365. Great show from Johnny Mac. Appreciate everybody being here today. I got some emergency shit I got to deal with in my personal life. I will refrain from telling you what that is, but I will tell you this. It's an absolute nightmare, all right? It's a nightmare. I don't want to deal with it at all, but I got to, all right? I got to. So it is what it is, but I'll take a couple comments. Marsh, what up, Marsh? I know you're happy today after that Cowboy shit show. Marsh, I know that you woke up feeling dangerous. You jumped out of bed this morning. You poured your cup of coffee or went and bought it, whatever you do. And you took that first sip and said, Marsh is feeling good after that Cowboy collapse last night. All right. What's up, Dro? Hit the shitter. That's not what I got to do at all. I'm okay. It's all good. It's not that type of deal. I'm all right, guys. Don't worry about me. All right. Don't worry. No, it's nothing like that. Nothing like that. Zander is in the Epstein files. Nah, come on, Paul. Come on, Paul. Hope everything goes well. Thanks, Brandon. Appreciate it. Babe, I don't even know what that means, brother. I don't even know what that means. Not wedding planning. Nothing to do with that. You're not allowed to have a personal life, Zander. Brian, I don't want a personal life. I like working. If it were up to me, I would just work, chill a little bit here and there, get some rest, and wake up and go back to it. Don't tell my woman that, though. She doesn't like to hear that. She wants me to do all sorts of personal stuff. If Z is in the files, he's a victim. No victim here, brother. I don't view myself as a victim in any area of life, and I would encourage everybody to have that same mentality. The amount of people that find ways to victimize themselves about something it's mind-numbing to me. All right? It is mind-numbing to me. The amount of people that find any little reason to make themselves a victim. Stop it. I hate that shit. I hate that shit. You're not a victim. You can win. What up, Roll? Oh, Roll. Not enough Jalen syrup for you today, right, buddy? Not enough Jalen syrup being poured on the pancakes for Roll Philly. Oh, man. Not enough Jalen syrup. I like that word better than Jalen glaze. Jalen syrup. That's what Roll Philly's looking for. Jalen syrup. Oh, man. Jalen syrup. Enough, dude. Holy shit. Just play better, Jalen. All right? The running game sucks, Jalen. That means we need our franchise quarterback to elevate the offense a little bit. Is that too much to ask? Roll Philly, am I allowed to ask that of the franchise quarterback, or is that too mean to him for you? You know, is that too mean to him? We got to be nicer. Don't expect franchise level play from the franchise quarterback. Is that right? Is that right? We need Saquon to turn back into Shay. I love that video. Who was that? Some commie fan? Some commie dude, right? He called him Saquon Barkley or something. That was funny. Look at Lord Mac. Respect my Super Bowl MVP. You don't respect Nick Foles. Remember, you wanted to ship him out. What's the difference? All right. Yeah, no, I didn't say that. Your quote is incorrect. I said I've never seen Jalen Hurts climb the pocket like that. Not a quarterback climb the pocket. I said I've never seen Jalen Hurts climb the pocket like that because he doesn't. He gets happy feet and then he runs. He gets happy feet and then he runs away. All right? You can't put a quote mark if you're going to be wrong, all right? Come on, man. That Jalen syrup, man, that stuff must be infused with something. Good morning, good wonderful morning, everyone. I knew Marshall was going to be pumped today. I knew Marshall was just going to have a great morning today. All right? I knew it. Jalen Hurts climbs the pocket every tush push. There you go. There you go. That works for me, Gary. All right. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he does climb the pocket when his butt's getting pushed by other dudes. By the way, that play is just stone cold. It's got some Phillies vibes to it. You know, they like getting cocked in the song. They sing about that to the whole city. I'm like kind of over this like tush push thing. I don't even like saying it anymore. It's like weird. It's like just run the quarterback sneak. I think it'll work fine. All right. Well, let's talk about the Cowboys last night. All right, they did it. They're not doing it. They're not doing it. I gotta stop giving them credit. Sorry, Cowboy fans. Your defense just gave up 44 points. The offense brought you all the way back in the game, and they were down by 3, and all you had to do was get a stop. One stop, and they give up 2 straight tutties. That Cowboys defense is trash. The Cowboys are no good. Xander, how good is Proctor? Caden Proctor from Bama? He is damn good. He's damn good. He'll probably go way too high for the Birds, though. I think he'll be a top 15. I don't know what. I haven't even looked at a mock draft. Like, where are they projecting people to go? 2026 mock draft. Let's see what they got. This guy made one on November. Who's Matt Miller? Who knows? This guy's got. I hate when people do this. This guy's writing a mock draft in November, and he makes a projected trade for the first overall pick. Dude, just fucking put the mock draft together. Just tell me where you think the guys are going. Projected trade. The Jets will move up to 1. Shut up. They got Mendoza, the Indiana quarterback, going 1. This guy's, I'm all, bad mock draft. He's got 3 projected trades in the first 3 picks. All right, dude, just give me the damn mock draft. All right. Let's see what this guy's got. Boy, this Mendoza kid, he's up there, man. I like him. I do like him. He's a smart guy, too. Arvell Reese, Ohio State. He's a good player. Caleb Downs, man, he was a beast, but fuck him. He left Bama. Caleb's a great player, but fuck you, Caleb Downs. I think his brother's in the league, right? Josh Downs, is that right? With the Colts? Caleb Downs. Dude bailed on Alabama. No love for him anymore. Good player, though. Reuben Bain Jr., Miami. 3rd pick. This does not look like a good mock to me. Keldrick Falk, Auburn. Cleveland Browns taking Mendoza, quarterback, Indiana. He's a good player. I like Mendoza too, Steve. He's good. Carnell Tate. I like Carnell Tate. Ohio State, they got some players. Jets take Jordan Tyson, wide receiver from Arizona State. Jeremiah Love, a top 10 pick. Wow. Wow. No loyalty in CFB. Yeah, you're telling me. I know, brother. I know. All right. I know. Caleb is nice too. Yeah, but he bailed on Bama, so I don't care. This offense has your mind playing tricks on it. Exactly. No limit. People want me to come up here and just like be happy all the time. You know, one dude was in here. What did he say? What was that guy who was in here a little bit ago? Jailer's a fake fan in a loud mouth or something. I don't know what the fuck he said. Dude, this team stinks. Now, they could still win. They could still go. But let's be real. Right now, objectively, the Eagles stink. Now, maybe they come out and win on Monday and they're 9-4 and they control their destiny again and we're all happy and we can go to the playoffs happy. Maybe. I'm not going to rule it out. But right now, they're just not a very good squad. All right, so you're using Tankathon, Kyle. Let me check out Tankathon. Let's see the mock draft. Reuben Bain, Arvell Reese, Fernando Mendoza, Ty Simpson up there. I don't think Ty Simpson's going that high. Caleb Downs, Dante Moore, quarterback from Oregon. Not a huge fan of his game. Spencer Fano, whatever it is. Let's see who's in the 20s. That's where we're going to be picking. They got us taking Cassius Howell from Texas A&M, edge rusher. We'll see. We will see. So, we'll see what happens, everybody. All right, I think I got to go. I got to go and deal with this personal shit I got to deal with. I really don't feel like doing it. I might just milk it out and talk to you numbnuts for the next 30 minutes so I don't have to do it. Indiana hasn't played anybody in almost – yeah, well, they're Indiana. They don't have a good schedule. I'm just – Twins, take a deep breath, you cisspot. I'm just taking a look at what's coming up. Did you hear me? I said I haven't looked at one mock draft yet. It's nothing like that. It has nothing to do with any of that crap. You guys are way off the mark. You guys are way off the mark. No, I'm not giving too much. I'm not giving it anymore. You know, it's like the people that ruin it, you know. I'm done giving too much personal information out on the air. Sorry, everybody. Not going to happen anymore. All right. We could talk some football. You can make fun of me for giving the Cowboys some credit. Colonoscopy. It's not a fucking colonoscopy. Marshall, what's up, Marshall? Let's start a GoFundMe for the Cowboy draft party. I want to start the donations. Marsh, I heard you're hosting it. Marshall will host the Cowboy draft party. Remember, they got 2 first-round picks. They got 2 first, right? They got 2 first. We need to find a quarterback. We got a running back. Oh, Tyler's chose violence today. Ultrasound, Zander Jr. on the way. Not yet, Twiz. I kind of wish, though. I wish. I'll let you guys keep speculating. I'm good with that. I'll let you guys keep speculating. Theo says, stay positive. Theo, positive about what? The big question. Positive about life? Oh, I'm positive about life. I think life is a beautiful thing. I love life. I love my family. I love my business. I love life. Positive about the Eagles? That's a different conversation. Now, that is a different conversation. All right. Oh, my. The Dallas Cowboys have started their collapse. Come on, Mark. Come on, Mark. I thought the Cowboys found something at the bye or whatever at the trade deadline. I thought they did. Uh-oh, what do we got? Breaking news on Slay? That's not breaking news. That's what he said yesterday. Unsure if he wants to continue playing. Roll Philly, you're right. Underdog, yes, you did. Did I hear John say LA Chargers have the second best pass defense? Underdog, they got the third best defense overall. They got the second best passing defense. No opponent in the last 5 games against them has thrown for over 200 yards. They got Derwin James. They got 2 corners who each have 3 picks. They have a good pass defense. So if you're hoping for MVP Jalen this week, it's going to be a tough one. Maybe he can do it, maybe he won't. Roll Philly's got that syrup he's cleaning up. Roll Philly's cleaning up that syrup. Roll Philly. Roll Philly. It's got that syrup. That Jalen syrup. Just play better, man. That's it. That's all everybody needs from Jalen Hurts. Just play better. You're the franchise quarterback. Just play better. All right? They ain't found shit but draft party reservations. Get ready for the draft. Flexing and stepping and saying, pack the season up. Come on, Flex. I got shows to do every day. I can't pack this shit up. Flexing is looking at the draft. I'm not going there yet. If they win, they go to 9-4. Does anybody think the Eagles are going to lose on Monday? Who thinks the Eagles lose on Monday? Say yes or me if you think the Eagles are going to lose on Monday. Sky walks and I got told to. Sky, if that was the case, I'd have been out of here 10 minutes ago. Believe me, that's not happening. I wouldn't sit here and wait. I would have pushed that off. We lose him. Pumper's got a loss. Underdog's got a loss. Flexen's got a loss. Abe's got a loss. Kyle pleads the 5th. HKP says a nice way. I don't think we're going to win. I got a feeling they're going to win. Same Zeal. I think they're going to win. I got a feeling the Eagles win the game on Monday. I got a feeling the Eagles win the game. I got us winning too, Brandon. Eagles 30 to Chargers 7. I don't know if we put up 30, brother. I got an Eagles win on Monday. I got to get back in the win column. I picked the Cowboys to win last night, which I should have known. I told everybody on the Cilio show, I'm like, all the public money is on the Cowboys tonight. That means the Cowboys are going to lose. But I still picked the Cowboys. I should have picked the Lions. Should have known that the defense would have given up a 44 spot. It is what it is. I'm going to get back in the win column on Monday with an Eagles win over the Chargers on Monday Night Football. I think the Birds win the game. I do. I'm always honest with you. I think the Birds win the game. That's the gut feeling right now, that the Birds win the football game. My gut's not always right, though. Curtis says a different team has to show up for a win. Sure, it can happen, but I'm not predicting it. I don't know. Just don't turn it over, Curtis. It's going to be like the vaunted Vikings did. I thought about that, Roll Philly. I won't lie to you. Remember when everybody was all down after the 2 losses to the Giants and the Broncos? And then we had the Vikings defense, and everybody's like, Brian Flores is going to screw Jalen Hurts up. And then Jalen dropped the perfect passer game. That's one thing you can count on from Jalen. He'll give you a random great game. He'll give you no consistency, but he'll give you a random great game. We could have that this week. Tough defense to do it against, but it's fitting that there's a cartoon version of the game to watch. Is there a cartoon version? What do you mean a cartoon version? NFL cartoon version? What does that mean? I never heard of this. Oh, Nickelodeon? Is that who does it? Or no, Monsters? There it is. Monsters Fun Day Football. I guess it's supposed to be like Monday, but Fun Day. Monsters Inc. Okay, Disney Plus. Hey, maybe that'll make the game. Maybe that'll make the Eagles more entertaining. If we're going to win, hey, sometimes entertainment is good, right? Sometimes you want to watch a little entertainment, all right? They do it every year. Right, I don't have kids. I imagine once I have kids, I'll be a lot more privy to this stuff, all right? Let's set the over-under on how many kids I'm going to have. I'll set the over-under at 5.5. 5.5. Who's got the over? I'm taking the over. Who's taking the over? Under. I'm cutting the over. Over. Come on, underdog. Over. Thank you, Flex. Thank you, Flex. I'll be happy with 4 girls. I'll be happy with anything. It doesn't bother me. Girls, gotta have at least one son. Gotta have at least one son. You are too smart. That I don't make decisions based on money like that. I'm not gonna not bring kids into the world because of money. I hope you're under. 6 kids. Are you effing nuts? You won't be saying that. Wipe your Jalen syrup off your mouth and shut up. Name your son Brian. Brian Pumper. The legend lives on, baby. The legend lives on. The legend lives on. I need some more. There you go, Flex. You can be their uncle. Uncle Flex. The first one will kick your ass, so you got to get rest at some point. Nah, that's all right, brother. I'll be all right. You got 3 boys, Brian? That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Everybody always tells me that. Once you have one, you'll realize. I'm like, I don't subscribe to that crap. I know. I don't have the ability to know, but my brother had a baby, and he's like, all I want is more babies now. This is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me, having a kid. That's what my brother says. I'll go by my brother. My brother's a beast. My brother is a freaking beast. I showed it on the National Football Show the other day. Let me pull up that Forbes article. My brother's in Forbes. It's funny to pull it up because I kid you not. Me and my brother have always been people that, we've always desired success and wanting to, reach a point in your life or however you attribute success to, you know what I mean? Whatever it might be. Not everybody has the same definition of that, but we've always talked about trying to work our butt off in life and get somewhere and build something and do something with our life and be successful in any area. And just seeing this shit makes me so proud of my brother, man, because if you guys knew how hard he works, he's smart as hell. And 2, he works his ass off, his ever-living ass off, man. And he's such a go-getter. He is such a go-getter. Very inspiring person, my brother. But this is him in the Forbes on the 30 under 30 to watch list. Co-founded Radical AI. Radical AI raised $65 million in funding. You can see he dropped out of Rice University. Let me tell you the story of that. So my brother is so smart. He got a full ride to go and get his PhD from Rice University. For those who don't know, Rice is a very prestigious science school for those, in science. So he gets a full ride to Rice continue his education and get his PhD from Rice. So he starts learning more. He's in the lab. He's learning all these things about materials. He worked at the Army Research Lab. He was in the National Guard. He's now a veteran. And he's like, this is great, but I don't want to be a scientist. I want to build something. So he starts emailing people that work not in this business, but that can basically get him into this business from a big picture, not working in the labs, but building a company. And he cold emails. I lived with him at the time. This is when I lived in Houston. Rice is in Houston. So I lived with my brother in Houston. That's when I lived in Houston. You guys know I lived in Houston for 2 years. My brother lived there. We lived together in Houston. We're very close, my brother and I. We've always been like this, man. Thick as thieves. Only friend I really need in life. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Only friend I really need. But I watched him cold email for 6 months on venture capitalists, science guys, founders, VCs, everybody. And I'll remind you all of this. How many finance bros are graduating every year right now from colleges, from Ivy Leagues, from all of them are trying to get into the same places, right? And they all just graduated, spending $100,000 on finance degrees and all this crap. My brother sends 150 emails. He gets a call with Kevin Ryan, who started Alley Corp, who's this multi-billionaire guy, who started these companies. And he gets on one Zoom call with this guy, Kevin Ryan, and he's so blown away by my brother. He's like, I'll give you a job right now. Joseph says, done deal. Drops out of Rice University off a cold email. This is how we got into this business. Meanwhile, there's hundreds of thousands of people a year graduating in the finance sector. Joseph gets in on a cold email. He says, calls the professor at Rice and says, thank you for everything you've done. I got to go on a leave. I got to chase this. I got to chase this right now. So he leaves Rice. We both move back home, back to this area. He's now up near New York. He goes and works at Alley Corp for a couple years as a venture capitalist, and again with no finance degree. He studied nanoscience at Virginia Tech, and then he went to get his PhD in material science at Rice. And now he's a venture cap. And then he starts his own business, starts his own company, raises the third highest pre-seed round in New York City history. New York City is the business capital of the world. And now he has raised again, another 65, and they are off and running, man. He's got a huge lab in Brooklyn. They just got another new lab. I mean, he is just going off, man. He's got a deal. He's got a contract now with the Air Force, the U.S. Air Force. So my brother's fucking rarefied air, man. My brother is rarefied air. All right, absolute stone cold legend. All right, so shout out to my bro. Shout out to my bro. Shout out to my bro, man. I'm proud of him. I'm really proud of him. I'm proud of him because he works his balls off, He really does. I see what he does on the back. I see what he does on the back end, how hard he works and what he puts into what he does in his craft. So it's impressive shit. I just wanted to give him a little love on the show. Just wanted to give him a little love. Here's Marshall. What's up, Marsh? They ain't found shit. I got that one. Here's Marsh again. Marsh, thanks for the supers today, brother. Can we donate cream cheese and crackers to the Battle Royale segment to celebrate Mark Holmes' demise? See, Mark, this is why, or Marsh, this is why when you were sending in chats about, I don't want to hear from Mark Holmes, you got to have it because it makes the demise better. It makes the demise better. You got to hear from him. Clown says it makes me look like a loser. That's all right. I don't care what you think of me, brother. I'm not self-conscious about anything I do because of what my brother does. But that's all right. If you think that, it's all good. Zay, you got to let me know when we linking up too. Oh, shit, Flex. I might just ship it to you, dude. I got so much shit going on, flexing. I'm going to be out of town next weekend. I got a bunch of crap to deal with this weekend now, which was unexpected, but is now here. Flex, I might have to ship you the jersey. I got it, though. The Carter one I have. A bunch of the other ones I don't know. All right, so it is what it is. But all right, everybody, I got to run, man. I appreciate all you guys for listening to me ramble. I think the Eagles win on Monday. It's Monday, though. It's weird, right? I wish we had the game on Sunday. Now it's Monday. You got to have the shows on Monday. Are they work? Come on, man. Guys talking about Jalen syrup. Jalen syrup. I've now dubbed that. Anywhere you hear it's no longer glaze. Glaze is like level 1. Level 1. Roll Philly's like a level 10 Jalenite. This dude's got no glaze left. It's all syrup. Thick syrup. Thick and nasty Jalen syrup is what Roll Philly's got. Ugh, it's nasty. All right, I'm out of here. I love all you guys. Hit the like button. See you next time, everybody.
You've been listening to Birds 365, the destination for the passionate Eagles football fan who bleeds green. If it's Eagles football, we're talking about it. Debate inside the locker room and guests that are some of the greatest football minds from around the region. We hope you enjoyed the show. We know we had a blast. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll be back soon. But in the meantime, hook up with us on social media at JAKIB Sports. See you next time on Birds 365.